All right, Todd, take it away.
Oh, thanks, Mike, and thanks everybody for joining us. Today we're going over the Greater Phoenix Metropolitan Market statistics for the week ending March 18th. What do we have in store? Here we go. 78 days closed on market this past week, a 3.13 month supply, sitting at 31.98 absorption rate. Our average list price this past week was $844,000. Our average sale price this past week just under $586,000. Story of the day: list price to sale price retention is at 99.89. Looking at active inventory, 17,732 properties available right now. That's up 1.2%. Pending is at 4,276. That's a pretty good number. And closed units at 3,110 for the month. But again, it's way too early in the month to try to determine what's happening there. Looking at new listings this past week, we took 2,033 new listings. That's down 4.5%. Days on market for active is at 97.2 and for closed at 78.4. Taking a look at the lower left-hand side and the price ranges, we'll see that, I'd say to the right side of that red box, you'll see where it says percent change. And the thing here is this is the box we're going to want to continue to watch. Now, 5.2% of 1,300 homes is a pretty good number, but 1.79% of 52, the one right below it, 5,282 numbers, that's a lot more properties. And so when you're taking into look at these into these individual price ranges, what you want to take into consider is how many units are there. So to have 5% on 300 units is not that many numbers. But we're also not necessarily just looking at the number of properties listed. But again, even in a 5 million plus price range, if you're adding 15 properties to the marketplace, that's pretty good. So taking a look at our spreadsheet so we can compare week over week, month over month, and year over year. On the very top side, new listings, 2,033. I put a yellow tick around it today because realistically, if we're above 2,000, we're in relatively good shape. But how does 2,033 or last week's 2128 compare? And again, last year, we only took 1,857 new listings this past week. 2 years ago, 2,149. So as you can see, we're right in those price ranges. What are we saying? We're saying you can expect moving forward right now anyway, until the numbers tell us differently, that the market's very similar to last January, February, and March. So I think the numbers have been tracking right along with last year's productivity. So 14,999 is what we had for inventory last year. We now have 17,732. Again, this is continuing to edge up. And what makes up that 17,000 is 768 coming soon properties. Single-family detached is 13,561. New home construction is up just a little bit at 2,593, and non-distressed properties at 17,665. So the importance of this morning, again, just because we haven't talked about this in a while, it was almost becoming a broken record for me. But if you look way over to the left-hand side, those percentages tell you what percentage of our current inventory right now do those short sales, lender-owned, and HUD properties represent. So 0.2, 0.14, and 0.03, add that together, 3.9, 3.7, significantly less than half of 1% of the entire MLS inventory. Yes, the numbers were up from 3 years ago because the production numbers and inventory numbers are up. But again, we look at percentages when we're dealing with the distressed properties. We don't really look at the numbers because the numbers are misleading. So again, if we are within about a 7% default rate at the in the lending institution, then we are normal, balanced, from a foreclosure perspective in that regard. So pending 4,276 a week before that, 4,209 last year, 4,222 a couple of years back, 5,100 in the marketplace. Of course, you can slide your eyes just over a little bit to the right under February 2023. You'll see it was 6,807 people. So again, 4,200, 4,276 right now. 55 is our sweet spot, but again, it's going up. That means there's continually more people in the market. So what are we saying? Numbers say there's more people listing their homes. Numbers say there's more buyers in the marketplace that want to buy those homes. Closed inventory, like I said, is a little too early in the month to tell. So we're at a 3.13 month supply. Last week we were a little higher than that. 2.5 to 3 is really our sweet spot. Last year we were only at a 1.72, so we were still eating up our inventory at 58% of monthly inventory levels. And then, of course, right now, median is finally stabilizing a little bit around that 445 under 450,000 number. Days on market have increased to 78 from 74. We're probably feeling this a little bit. As you add more inventory and you add more buyers, the market sometimes does that. 97.8 is where we like this to be, is the list price to sale price retention. We were tracking this year to date so far. This is the first time this has taken a significant jump. Is it an anomaly? I can't even say the word, Mike. Is it an anomaly or not? Is it just a point in time? That's the way the numbers came out this past week. We'll continue to watch this. But what this means is as it gets closer to 100%, when it goes over 97.8, the sellers aren't giving as much away as they were before. Did the homes that were sold this past week, did the sellers of the properties that went under contract, did the seller hardly reduce their price? That's what this is saying, when it's normally about a 2% negotiation. So we'll have to see exactly what's going on in the market from that perspective.
Appreciate it as always, Todd. And just to make you feel better, anytime it has more than 2 syllables, I struggle as well.
Thank you. I appreciate that.